Halftime here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, Football 24/7 with NFL insider John McMullen, presented by Stateside Vodka. First half action comes to a close down at Lincoln Financial Field. DeVonta Smith, John, gets the record. Let's start there. That was a great to see for DeVonta Smith.
Yeah, a couple records. Well, not a record, but obviously Jason Kelce, as we explained, extending his long consecutive start streak. You know, it was one play and they got him out. So DeVonta Smith, to get that record, had to play a little bit more, but as soon as he got it, surpassing Desean Jackson. And you do have to give Desean credit, obviously, in a 16-game season. So it took the extra game, but once he broke the record, Eagles immediately took him out of the game. So it was clear that that's why they had him in there. As soon as he was able to do it, they got him out. And that's been really the story, just backup players for the Eagles. And I thought the offense played pretty well as a whole. They were able to run the football. We talk about the depth on the offensive line. That showed again today. It's really amazing in a lot of ways, but the defense, they are really, really struggling with backup players against Dak Prescott.
And Johnny Mac, at one point it looked like DeVonta Smith went back in for one more play, and then Nick Sirianni realized that and took his helmet away.
Yeah, he wanted to play. He talked all week about, and that's Jalen Hurts said the same thing. And obviously, you don't dress him so you don't get in those conundrums. But players want to play generally, and if you leave it up to them, they're going to want to play even in this type of situation, especially against a rival. And I think as the Eagles start to struggle, as they did at the end of that first half, you know, those guys probably like to get out there even more, but you got to be smart about it. And I think the Eagles made the smart decision.
The network broadcast tonight, Johnny Mac, used your reference to rust when this game started, leading into the opening kickoff. What do you learn from a game like this in the first half? Do you take anything out of this game, or do you just feel good about where you are, even though you're down by 13 and Dallas gets the football to start the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think you feel very good offensively. I think you see, I'm starting to think that Jeff Stoutland could take me and Joe Krause and Xander Krause and Jody McDonald and certainly Barrett Brooks and turn us into a competent offensive line. So you take some positives out of things like that. And the running game and Kenny Gainwell has looked very good. They're still able to run the football. Now, Dallas also, you have to be realistic, isn't without Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. So although they're playing a lot of their starters, they're down certainly maybe their two best defensive players, certainly this year. So you have to add that in the equation. But I thought for the most part, it's all positive for the offense. And then for the most part, it's all negative for the defense, especially the back seven. I mean, and look, the Cowboys might have the best wide receiver group in the NFL. So when you start talking about Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, and even though Michael Gallup is injured, Cedric Wilson is the best fourth receiver in football, and he would be the second receiver if he were on the Eagles. He's that good, and you saw him sort of make a number of plays and 2 touchdowns in the first half. So it's a really, really talented wide receiver group. And when you're playing backup corners and your best corner is a rookie who was barely played in Zach McPherson, it's going to be difficult to get anything done, and that's sort of what happened.
Johnny Mac, I don't know. Last thing before I let you go, as we are at halftime down at Lincoln Financial Field, I don't know if there's any way to measure this, and I don't know if you have an opinion on this or not. But rolling into Wild Card Weekend next week, no matter where you are, whether you're in Tampa, whether you're in LA, or that even outside chance, I guess, that you could play this this Dallas Cowboy team. Are you at a disadvantage when all of your starters aren't playing in a game tonight?
No, I don't think it'll have much influence on next week's game, wherever it is, against whatever opponent. I mean, I think if you look at how Dallas is approaching this, they didn't play well last week against Arizona. They were upset about the way that they played, and they wanted to feel better about themselves going into their first round matchup. So, um, I understand that thinking, and I think ultimately, certainly offensively at least, they do probably feel a little bit better about themselves, and that's a positive for Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys. From the Eagles' perspective, look, none of their guys are playing, and these guys aren't going to be playing that are out there today, with the exception of DeVonta and a few players, are not going to have meaningful roles in that first round playoff game. So, you know, Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelsey, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, they're not going to be affected by this game. Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat, they're not even dressed. It's not going to affect them. So I don't think it's going to hurt the Eagles from that perspective.
Good stuff from John McMullen. We'll see him as soon as the game concludes on the live postgame show with Derek Gunn, Mark Farzetta, and Devin Caney. It'll be a spirited 2 hours tonight right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel and on 6abc.com. I have a feeling, Johnny Mac, when you get into the postgame locker room and you get into the press conferences after the game, it will be interesting. Not sure why I say that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Good stuff, Johnny Mac.
All right, thanks, Krause.
All right, good stuff from John McMullen down at the stadium. You know, DeVonta Smith, when DeVonta was drafted right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, we gave out 10 DeVonta Smith jerseys. And in celebration of DeVonta getting that record tonight in this, the final regular season game, we're going to do it again. Only this time we're giving away 5 DeVonta Smith jerseys. Catch us on Twitter, follow directions, and we'll give away 5. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, coming up when the game concludes and the clock goes to 0-0, it's the live post-game show with Derek Gunn, Mark Farzetta, Devin Caney, and of course, John McMullen, live from the stadium. Xander Krause producing the show. That's going to do it for our halftime report here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. We'll see you in the postgame, everybody.